Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone and everything in between. Welcome to the Stay Positive podcast. I'm your new host, Jessie.
Lies. Complete
Whoa,
lies.
what is this? I leave for 5 minutes and you already got a new host, Pete. Come on, God.
Just kidding. I'm the guest of this episode. So.
Yeah, but she wanted to do the intro. It was her only stipulation to be on the actual podcast. She said. She
Not really.
Yeah, it was.
Just want to have some fun.
It's true. The negotiations were really hard. We spent like a couple hours on it, but we did finally come to an agreement. So we got her on so long as she started the episode. Anyway, welcome to the Stay Positive podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Pete.
I'm Jessie.
And Jessie's here. We have a brand new guest.
Yeah. One of my best gal friends in the world. Why you act like that's such a surprising thing for me to say?
No. I'll take it as the truth. But I'm really happy to be on because you guys haven't had any girls, and I want to bring more girls' energies.
You want to destroy the inequity of our podcast? Is that it?
No, I think things should be balanced. You know, like has like different varieties of opinions and hear different people's perspectives and stuff, right?
Yeah, you're right. Speaking of balance, Jessie just got herself a very new
tattoo.
Yeah.
On my back.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a little sun on the top and with a word balance underneath. Under it. Yeah, because I think I really believe in the word balance and everything.
Uh-huh. Is there any other meaning behind it, underlying, or no?
Not really. I've been wanting to get like a tattoo for like 2 or 3 years. Never really set my mind because I don't want to regret after I get my tattoo, but I'm really happy with this one. And yeah, I'm trying to find balance in everything. Not to be too positive, too negative, trying to find a balance, but also stay positive all the time.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I know that after I got my first tattoo, when was that? Maybe after freshman year of college, I instantly told myself I want to get another one. I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. I need another.
You get addicted from getting tattooed. Alex, do you have a tattoo?
I do not.
Alex would never put any sacrilegious markings on his body.
You know, I was listening to this podcast, like, people still don't know what is in the tattoo ink. They're, like, scientists are still trying to figure out, like, exact elements and stuff, like chemicals and things in the tattoo ink, because there are people having allergic reactions from it. Like, you were having itchiness on your skin the other day, and I was like, it's happened right after you got the new tattoo. I'm like, you probably should pay attention to that, because people get that.
What?
Reaction.
Most people have told me that when you get a tattoo, like when it's fresh, it can get irritating. That's normal.
Yeah.
Or sensitive, that area.
Well, at least that's what I've been hearing. They know kind of like stuff, but they are like on Amazon. You can just buy tattoo ink off Amazon.
Hold up. Can either of you tell me what witch hazel is?
No.
Well, because the compound in tattoo ink is a carrier and a colorant, or solutions comprised of a carrier and colorant, which may contain glycerin, water, isopropyl alcohol, and witch hazel. I've never heard it before. I've never heard of that before, but
So what I'm hearing is when you get a tattoo, you turn into a witch. Am I hearing this correctly?
No.
Because they said like for the specific pigment like red, specifically color red, it has more reactions people like to the color red, and normal black color is like fine, but just the red color is the one that people have been reporting having reactions to it.
Oh. Well, okay. Fun fact: witch hazel is actually a plant, so we're all just incredibly ignorant.
But that is that makes it important to what I was trying to say today is what you consume in your body, and you need to be more conscious in knowing what you read, what you eat, what you look at on your social media, things like that. You need to be mindful and conscious about nowadays.
Yeah, I agree. I like to look at that actually in two kind of frames of mind, which is the small scale, so the individual, as like what you said, what we consume in terms of tangible things such as food, water, energy, and then intangible things such as digital content, digital media in general. How about we start off with the tangible things, we'll say.
Yeah.
What's your favorite tangible thing to consume, Alex?
What's my food?
It used to be Sprite. Let's be real there.
Yeah, that is a fair statement to make. What is something I like to consume? I have a bit of a sweet tooth, so I guess sweets.
Candy's so addictive.
Unfortunately, my metabolism is really good, so I don't know the word limit or restraints when it comes to eating those things. So, but don't worry, my body will catch up and I will get my comeuppance in 20 years from now. So until then, I will enjoy the ride. No. Pete can tell you, Pete can attest to this. I have been treating my diet more, I don't think carefully, more respectfully. I'm treating my body a little bit better. So,
Your body in the future will thank you.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm very much Zen. Body is a temple person. People talk to me about that all the time. They're like, why are you so my body is a temple all the time? And I just say, I don't know. I don't want to be 55 years old and thinking, why can't I get out of bed because I just feel like shit. I don't want to be that person.
It's true.
I want to get out of bed when I'm 55 and run a marathon because I have so much energy,
Yeah.
Instead of having arthritis in my back or something. I don't know if that's possible, but you know what I mean.
I feel like the things you do today should be like presents for you tomorrow, Like how you like get things for other people. How you treat yourself and like your responsibilities today will be a present for you the next day. It's because for example, if you like have a homework assignment or just a work assignment and it's due in the future, wouldn't it be great if you had it finished like today instead of the day it's due? Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I feel like
but like in all seriousness, it's like if you have like things to do, like for example, P, you love going grocery shopping. It's like, don't you want to get that done as soon as possible, not when you're like completely out of food and just like starving and dying?
yeah, that I think people should plan ahead and be not like on autopilot and actually know what they want in the future and how that will impact them and what's the action to take and like today.
I do love going grocery shopping, by the way.
Yeah,
I love food. I'm obsessed with cooking lately.
Yeah, we used to went like every weekend.
We
like,
did. Me and Jess would always have stuff to do on Saturdays, and then after those meetings, we would basically go grocery shopping for a couple hours, I think, at least. One time
Couple hours? It takes me like an hour at most on a busy day.
It's because Pete, it's really, he doesn't know what he wants, so he just walking in this grocery store, like, just walking around.
I get it.
It's not that I don't know what I want, it's that I always need too many things and I don't know where anything is.
Okay, yeah.
Also, get this, one time we even took, or she has a bike, I have an electric scooter, because I am that person. And we took a little adventure into 4.5 miles outside of the city of Boston to find like a little Greek shop with certain foods and delicacies of my heritage.
Nice.
So yeah, like we would do stuff like that. That's exactly why I'm so good at time management.
I mean, 4 miles isn't that bad.
It took a long time, and the worst part about it was that on the way back, my scooter's battery died, so I had to kick a scooter that weighs 40 pounds.
Yikes! Couldn't
you could say that I did not skip leg day that
couldn't
day.
you just have yeah, I have no idea how you'd handle that situation.
It was brutal.
That's why you should have a bike, Pete. It's better exercise for you. Well, I mean, carrying a 40-pound scooter like a couple miles also is pretty good exercise, to be fair. But
well, the thing is, I didn't carry it. I had to kick it.
Oh,
so it was
yeah,
even harder.
That too. Good
sucked.
one. I feel bad. I'm sorry, Pete. But at least you're stronger for it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Exactly.
True that.
But yeah, like recently I haven't been going to grocery shopping that often because I was being on fasting for a long time.
Yeah. So tell us about that actually, because I'm interested to hear about it more.
Alex, have you done like any type of like fasting or?
Dopamine fasting or just any fasting?
And I know you guys did both. I wanted to ask you guys what was the reasons of you like being on the dopamine fasting, because I was more talking about like food.
I have a funny story that I'm not going to really tell, but basically I fasted for like 10 days, and let's just say my body did not appreciate that at all. So that's my story of fasting.
Wait, without giving the details you don't want to give, did you not eat food for 10 days?
I had like a banana on the occasion and water.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, man.
That's I would say
such a
that
clown.
that would like you kind of like broke the like if you were just drinking water, it would be more on like the water fast and stuff. But eating a banana, like, well, you're still able to survive, but your body's not gonna be happy.
Yeah,
with that.
no, I learned that my body did not appreciate that, and I suggest no one do that ever. With that being said, there's something interesting about Pete. Have you ever? You're not a wrestler, or a fighter, but have you ever fasted like food wise?
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger and still sort of adhering to Christian religion and stuff, we would do technically, if you were super religious, you would fast the 40 days before Easter. But in my family, we weren't always very, very religious, so we would try to do the week before Easter. I think just Holy Week is what it's called. Yeah, dude, that's so bad that I don't even remember it. It's part of my culture. But anyways, we would fast Holy Week, and even that type of fasting wasn't even that bad. It was just no meat, no fish, or I don't even remember, to be honest. But it was a limited diet, stuff like you can only eat basically vegetables or something, and
I think it's like every
no
Friday
dairy.
fish.
I think it's nothing. No, that's Catholics.
Oh yeah,
Because my mother is Catholic, and so that's I know that she would always eat fish every Friday. But I think it was actually stuff that does not come from a living thing. You're not allowed to eat. So
Plants are
dairy. Living. I know. So that's actually impossible. Then how do you eat anything?
Eat rocks, I guess. Anyway, I wanted to say this. So in that 10-day period where I basically tortured myself, I wanted to ask, like, when you fast, do you get like just cravings, like nonstop cravings? Like you can't think of anything else but that one thing you're fasting from?
That's really interesting. So yes, I mean, while you're on fasting, sometimes the first time I did it, it was like craving the thing that I don't really eat, and I'm like, oh my god, everything is so delicious in your mind, and you just want to eat them right away, but you're like, no, I'm on the fasting. I like that process. Like I like when you're doing meditation, your mind like wandering around, and you tell yourself like, come back, like stop thinking about that, because like we spend this is fact check me, but I don't know, but they said 30% of our thoughts every day are thinking about food, what's the next meals and stuff. But like, the data shows like 240 hours of a year people actually spend on thinking about what's next meal and food and stuff. But I think it's definitely more than that. Well, this is one of the data I got from the nutritionist or a scientist saying that 30% of your thoughts are on food. Then if you think about when you're on fasting, yes, you're thinking about food, but you have all the time that you're not normally eating food to kind of like think about something else, do something else, and that's why a lot of religious purpose to do like find the clarity, connect to the higher power, higher self and stuff. You got to find that clarity while you're on fasting, and a lot of like ceremonies that you do fasting before you go into the ceremonies, and you have this clear mind, because like your brain spends so much energy on like digesting the food that you have every day, and when you're empty stomach and then being able to connect to your inner self, you're like able to find more clarity in things.
Interesting. Well, I can tell you that I do dopamine fasting every now and then, but I don't really. I guess you could say there's a spiritual aspect to it, but I do it more so to clear my mind in a way. So it's almost like a premeditative exercise of sorts. And so I guess it is really all spiritual, I guess. No, but I do it because I feel like if I'm, funny enough, consuming too much toxic content in my life, whether it be food or digital stuff, I think I need that hard reset, and that acts as that hard reset for me. Always works too.
Yeah, Alex, have you had like eaten any food and feel like really sleepy afterwards, having that food coma? And
Isn't that
Food
just
baby.
when you eat a lot?
yeah, it depends on the food are you eating. Normally, it's like if you eat a big steak or something harder to digest, requires more energy for your stomach to actually digest. You start getting dizzy and
Yeah, but if I ate like 10 salads back to back, I'm pretty sure I'd still feel pretty sleepy anyway. So,
I heard this, I don't know who I heard it from. Maybe it was from Owen, but apparently when you eat a lot of food, the blood goes to your stomach
to
more
digest
than your
it.
brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And because of the lack of oxygen in your blood going to your brain, you get sleepy. Especially, so I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the reason we yawn is because we have a lack of oxygen in our brains. And that freaked me out when I was younger because I was like, why do I yawn every 10 minutes? And then I realized it's because I would literally just sit and not breathe at all. I would literally be sitting somewhere. And even sometimes in practice as well, when I would just be dead tired, it wasn't like I was asleep because I was fully awake, fully wired, and just, I don't know, putting a lot of effort in, but I would start yawning, and my coach would make me run because he'd be like, why didn't you care? And I was like, what do you mean, man? I'm here.
you're like, I care.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But so why did you want to know about us and our fasting stuff?
I don't know. I just feel like I am also learning at the same time. I'm not an expert, be like telling you this is what you should do. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I just think that I personally benefits from that, and because I do think that like having a little bit of self control, especially in like this pandemic time where like a lot of things are out of controls, and we're like over consumptions, like at least there's like over consuming a lot of stuff, and we're just on our phones, social medias every day. Just informations get fed to us. We don't even choose what we're gonna do sometimes, and having a little self-control in just the most basic stuff where everyone love eating food, not everyone, but most people does. So having a little self-control in that, I feel like is really cool. And I will just kind of hear what you think, because you were on a vegetarian diet for like
Yeah.
a slightly, like a short few weeks, and I was like wondering what's going on, like why you gave up. And I'm
Well, first of all, preach, sister. I mean, people really had self-control problems over the quarantine and stuff, and I think that people are still finding that. So it's important to try to at least find a little bit of that. But why did I stop vegetarian diet? Well, I realized that as a college athlete, it's probably not the best thing for my performance. And I noticed actually one really interesting thing. I think I've mentioned it before to Alex on a previous episode,
You have.
but I'll explain to you. So what I would do is I would just eat only plant-based things, and every now and then some dairy as well, no meat. And I every morning would wake up feeling great. Yeah, I would wake up at 5 a.m. after sleeping 4 hours type of deal and feel great, which was crazy because I'm the type of person that if I don't get at least 6 hours, I feel like shit. I literally can't move, and it's just horrifying for 30 minutes that I'm trying to figure out how to orient myself in this plane of existence. But I would have so much energy, right? But then I'd get on court and I would feel super wired once again and super energetic, super hyper almost. And then after about 25 minutes, dead. Like I had no endurance at all. I couldn't sustain any of that energy. So what I noticed was while I was eating, I guess, a regular athlete's diet, which had a lot more protein and meat in it, like chicken, beef, pork, all that stuff, I noticed that while I may not have had the initial spark of energy, the initial thing to get me going, my energy was sustained for way, way, way longer. So, I just realized that because most tennis matches, especially in college, they're not going to last 30 minutes. They're 2 to 3 hours. I needed to make sure that my energy was tip top, especially in practice, because in practice, when you don't feel good, you have no way of really like giving and putting out as much effort as you should be. And so it was really counter beneficial to me. And then also I noticed that I was gaining weight almost, but not good weight. I noticed that I just gained a little bit of fat on my bones in a way. That's the only way I could describe it, because I knew I was about the same weight, but didn't look as lean, you could say. And so I thought to myself, okay, why is this happening? Oh, it's because I'm literally not eating any protein, or very little protein compared to my previous standards. And so, so I stopped that. And it was basically the whole spring semester last year. When I got back home, funny enough, I was half making the conscious decision to get off it, and half my dad gave me a plate of beef and rice, and he said, "You're eating this and you have no choice." Because we don't have any vegetarian food here for you. So I was like, you know what, man, I'm all for it. We're back. We're gonna go back to this. So that's it. And I gotta say, vegetarian diet is definitely doable, and I actually enjoyed a lot of the food. I even have a no meat athlete cookbook right in front of me, Alex and Jesse. You can see it. So I gotta say, if I'm not training for anything really, I could probably do it. It's also cheaper. You don't have to buy as many meats, and meat's expensive.
Yeah. Exactly. It's funny that you bring up the whole vegetarian thing, because I was just about to bring that up too. I was thinking about your story about from like many episodes ago, how you told me with vegetarian diet you had a lot of energy but for short bursts, whereas with meat you can actually sustain a high intense level for long periods of time. And it made me think, it's like if you did both, that would be, you'd have the best of both worlds. You'd have high intense energy from beginning to end for long periods of time, which, in high school and middle school and elementary school, they teach you about like that food pyramid or food diagram or food circle.
It's all fake.
No, it's like, Pete, you're literally living proof that like when you eat all vegetables, you have hyper energy, but for short bursts. And when you eat meat, you have long bursts. You're able to sustain a long period of intense work. So if you did both, and with the right percentages, you could do both. It makes logical sense, doesn't it, Pete?
No, I'm saying, yes, it does make sense. I'm saying the food pyramid is fake.
It's half fake. I mean, I'm sure the numbers are rough estimates. Everyone has a different body, so...
I don't know. I don't know if it's really a conspiracy. I heard someone tell me that the food pyramid was made by butcher companies or just meat companies to kind of sell meat on you. The whole factory.
Yeah, but why did they make carbs the number one thing?
I guess because the only thing you can really eat with carbs is meat anyway. Because if you eat carbs plain, it's just horrible. Like, you're going to eat plain pasta? Plain rice?
That's what sauce is for, and that's dairy.
I don't know. I don't think anyone would really do that. I definitely wouldn't do that. Would you do that, Jesse?
I don't know.
You've never had Alfredo pasta, Pete?
Yeah, with chicken in it, man.
I mean, you could. You don't need the chicken on it.
Like I said, balanced. I think balanced diet. And
yeah, let's bring it back to Jesse's Earth right now. So take us aside from food, I guess, before we move on from food, I guess, what is a perfect balance that you like to find when you're eating? Because I talked about my balance I tried a bunch of stuff, right? And some of it didn't work, some of it did work. What do you find balances you out when you're eating?
I love fish. Like, I eat a lot of fish and things, seafood and stuff. And I do realize that I can't just like eat fish, like seafood all the time, which is delicious. But I try to balance it out, like protein, carbs, and veggies, fruit. I try to get like everything a little bit every day. And depends on my needs. For example, if I'm preparing for a race, I'll like eat more carbs, and of course it's for certain purposes. But like most of the day, I try to eat everything a little bit every day, try to find the balance. But sometimes a funny thing. A lot of data is online that about like fasting, those diets. Some part of it, the data are taken from more like male participant, and not a lot of like female participants. So the data for like female like fasting, the effects on like our body is a little bit different from the ones like online. They should be paying more attention to how that affect our bodies, and I think it really depends on you paying a close attention to your own body, how you feel after eating certain food, to find that balance for yourself. You don't have to follow a certain diet from people. I feel like find your own balance in how you perform to be a high performed human being.
Yeah, I feel that.
Sounds about right.
It's really hard to find it as well, because you just need to experiment like crazy.
Yeah, I spend some time, even though I'm saying like we spend so much time talking about food every day, but yeah, I mean, food is part of our life. Food.
It is really important. Imagine if you couldn't eat anything. I think the max people can last without eating food is 2 weeks. Is that a thing?
I think it's like without 2-3 weeks without food and 1 week without water.
1 week without water.
Yeah, but water is really important. Not just water, like drinking salt water and the
electrolytes. Yeah.
Electrolytes. You can't just drink water the whole time when you're fasting. You gotta have electrolytes in your body. Otherwise,
of course.
Just like
I wish I knew that.
So I guess you cramped up during your fast?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I was functioning, like I was studying and stressed, the usual, but I was just like, there would be times where I just feel hungry and I want to eat, and I said, no, don't eat. And I would just like sit in my room for like 30 minutes, like just contemplating, like, don't eat food. You're not doing this. You're going to prove to yourself you have willpower. And I did. I succeeded in that regard. And then my body said, okay, this is going to go one of two ways. Either you're going to listen to me or you're going to die. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
You see, this is also part of my master plan to get the story out of him, even though he didn't want to share it.
Yeah.
I didn't reveal anything.
But basically what we know is you probably had to do a 10-day study bender, and you decided that, you know what, I want to prove myself that I am willpower giant. So you're like, okay, I'm not going to eat during these 10 days.
It wasn't, no, the idea was to do it for like a month, or as long as possible. I just say 10 days because that's just when my body had a reaction, so to speak. I remember I had a blueberry smoothie on the first day, and then I had a banana on the second day, and then I think I had a banana on the 6th day, and that's all I remember, and water.
Alex, can't you just tell I've played you?
I still haven't revealed the problem I suffered to reveal it.
What we learned from this is you need to do this under medical supervision, knowing exactly.
I also did exercise. I was running. I was literally doing everything because I was trying to distract myself. Oh, that's probably why I was fasting. I was doing exercise to lose weight, and I was like, well, I can exercise and not eat, and that'll exponentially increase the rate, which is half true, but also really bad for you. So don't do that. What I learned is a better alternative to killing yourself when trying to lose weight is just eat what you normally would eat, but just slightly smaller portions. And that alone will make you lose weight within 2 weeks. If you do that with exercise as well, you'll lose even more weight. And if you replace some of the foods you eat with healthier foods, that'll make you lose even more weight. So it's incremental. This is how I experimented with food, because I eat meat and I never stopped eating meat, but I would start eating a little less meat, and that was enough to lose a few pounds. And then I started instead of 2 pieces of meat, I would have 1 piece of meat and 1 salad, and it would just be I would start to lose more weight, and then I would eat a little less meat, and just incrementally go less and less and more diversified and more balanced, you would say. And now I'm in relatively better shape and better health.
I'm happy. I'm glad. I believe from what you both are telling me, both of you are strong willpower persons, and then I just wonder, how do you select other stuff you consume in your life, like social media, books, music? Oh, you're a big music person, I know, Peep. How do you select the things that you consume in terms of content? Like content.
How do I select it?
Well, social media I just don't look at, so that helps. Except YouTube, if you can count that as I consider that more video watching than social media, but that is a slight problem. Emphasis on slight, but it is noticeable for me. Because who watches TV anymore?
Not a single soul that I know that's under the age of 40.
Like I watch sports sometimes, but not enough to like.
I know, but you
warrant.
stream them.
You could. I don't know. TV is kind of like a sporting event thing for me. It's like that's what the TV is there for. It's just for sports.
I mean, before we go back to your topic, Jesse, I just like to think about how so many huge paradigm shifts in technology have literally altered the way we consume things. So I guess it's kind of related, but the advent of the iPhone changed the world. First of all, no one ever would have thought that you'd have the computing power of, the first spaceship
rocket,
that would go to the moon in the palm of your hand, in your pocket every day. And everyone takes that for granted, for instance. Digital streaming, Netflix, absolutely revolutionized and destroyed cable TV. Because, no one watches cable TV anymore. No one, can you name a cable TV company that's still alive, that's making good profits and good margins in their business? I'd be hard-pressed to find one myself. Can you, Jesse? You're a film and TV gal.
Well,
Verizon?
I try. I don't think I'm an expert in that. I'm a film and TV girl, but also I didn't grow up here. A lot of since I've been here, I've never watched TV.
Is cable TV still a thing in China?
It's nowadays those smart cable. You have a cable, you can still watch normal TV, sports channels and stuff, but you have YouTube and those kind of things streaming platform on that cable.
They have Billy over there.
Bill. Yeah. It depends. I feel there are still people watching TV with especially big families and stuff, but like you said, depends on the age. Younger generation definitely spend more time on computer.
So it's just crazy to me. I talked about it the other day with my friend. He said that the iPhone was probably one of the biggest things to ever happen to humanity. And what's the next thing? Blockchain, in my opinion. But we're not going to jump down that rabbit hole. So how do I choose my content? Alex told you his. I use social media very, very moderately, to be fair. I know other people that are basically on it 24/7, and I just can't do that. I have way other stuff to do.
That's a problem in my eyes.
Yeah, it is to me too. I've always been a person to moderate myself very much so on social media. I even deleted Snapchat. I'm very, very much less on Instagram right now because, especially we've got season starting up in 1 week. Let's see. Well, one thing I do is I only follow people that I've met before. So if I don't know you, the odds are that I'm not going to follow you back in any social media setting, because otherwise, or at least for now, that is before I turn into a social media influencer, that is. No, I'm joking.
Pete.
But I don't want to see a lot of other people's content that I just don't know about, in a way. It's just stuff that I want to curate for myself involves things that I'm interested in. And I am interested in other people, but I'm interested more in their opinions, and I'm interested in their beliefs and, stuff that they like to do and experience. I'm not interested in their fake lives that they put on Instagram, because that to me is extremely superficial, and I hate superficial people. So I'd absolutely love living in LA. No, but on that note, I also really, really love learning about new stuff, if you could have gathered that. So I follow a lot of podcasts, obviously. I I have this thing where if I'm not in school, I'll try to read a book a week. And I mean, you see, I have a bunch of books up on my shelf right now. And I've tried to read, but it's just hard because, we've got a lot of stuff going on and school is beautifully busy. And then I've got sport commitments as well. But I like to read as much as possible. I'm an anomaly when it comes to that.
Yeah, well, what both of you just said, I have a few thoughts, but it's just really interesting to hear what you said, and also I was wondering why Alex doesn't use the social media. You can tell me later, but also like there's a lot of like successful people out there who they don't use social media. They still post stuff. So what I learned from Untamed Fairies was like he has social media. He still regularly posts stuff, but he doesn't have the physical app itself. Like Instagram, he doesn't have one on his phone, but there's like third-party app that can allows you to post, update your life, and then not being on the social media looking at other people's feed all the time. So I'm not like overwhelmed with what you said, P. Like what everyone else is doing, like their display of their life, and then make yourself miserable, like thinking about, oh my god, what I'm not doing, like other people are doing. And that's I didn't know that you can do that. Like you can not be having Instagram but still posting things, and that's their reasons.
No, that's definitely a thing. I remember because for my internship 2 summers ago, they had me do that. Literally, there was I forget the third-party app that we used, but they had me create posts and schedule them on LinkedIn, Twitter, and I think Facebook as well. And literally, never ever having to go on the platform itself. You can schedule it from from the scheduling app, so to speak.
But do you feel missed out, like, Alex, like, from not having social media? Like, because, people, like, sometimes they want to, like, I don't know, connect with your friends. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about, like, the energy consumptions, like, the friends you be around with, like, how the energies you get from your friends.
I think you just said it there, the friends you're around with. You're not around anyone when you're on social media. You're just kind of there, just watching other people. And some of them may be your friends. And in that respect, okay, fair enough. If you're like only following your friends and watching them and like keeping in touch with each other, fine. That's okay. That gets a thumbs up from me. Most people on Twitter, Snapchat, or Instagram most likely don't fall into that category. I'm willing to assume most of them follow celebrities, follow people they look up to, influencers, streamers. I hate the word influencers, by the way. I don't know if I ever mentioned that in the podcast, so just double check. I hate the word influencer. Because, like, what does that mean, really? Like, we all influence each other. So you're basically a professional nothing, is what I'm hearing when you call yourself a professional influencer. You're a professional nothing. Because at least a professional motivator can be pretty good and pretty powerful for some people. Professional influencer, like, what your job is literally to manipulate or to, like, I don't know, influence that? Like, what does that mean? Like, is that just like code for brainwash? Like, what does that mean, honestly? To me, it's professional nothing. It's no skilled loser, idiot, waste of life. Okay. Let me take it back. Not waste of life. I value everyone's life, but I feel if you are an influencer professionally and nothing else, please get a hobby. Thank you. That's my PSA for today. Anyway, so back to what I was saying.
I love your rants. I'm sorry.
why I don't use like social media is because who cares? Like, if I want to talk to my friends, I talk to my friends. I don't need to listen to their ideas 24/7. I can just talk to them like a human being, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think? Am I wrong for thinking that
No.
way?
I was laughing because I have so many friends on my Instagram who are like
Influencers?
brand themselves as
brand ambassadors
and influencers, and I do see the influence that they make on people because they have so many followers, and then if they tell them to do one thing, maybe they can change a lot of people's lives and doing things.
They can also change it for the worse, though, which makes them idiots and talentless.
That's the thing
so
about
abrasive.
I don't know the definitions of influencer, to be honest, nowadays. I guess anybody can call themselves influencer. I was gonna say, are you two influencers on the podcast? I'd be like influencing people, things that you share with each other. You can define it in many ways, you know?
I suppose the only way, shape, or form that we could be influencers, Alex and I, is the fact that we want other people to not be influenced by others. As in, we want other people to have their own opinions and bring it in a positive light, and that's about it.
No, that's important. I mean, you were asking me about do you care about other people's opinions and stuff? Like, social media definitely affect you in a way that I feel like it's pretty negative. Like, you just care about what people say under your post, and I would just had. Yeah, go
sorry. You can keep going.
No, I was just saying, like, my roommates and I were just talking about the other day how, like, people under the comments underneath the post sometimes can be really fake. And
of course.
And
my God, girl, you're so pretty. Love.
I don't want to go into that
heart emojis.
That area of comments, but for me, it's like, who cares? Like, it's just mob mentality at this point. It's like, you have the most followers, so that means what exactly? You know what I'm saying? It's like, if 1 million people followed you, that's great. That doesn't make you an expert in anything at all. You're not an expert in science, in politics, in really anything. That just means you're popular. And that's fine. No disrespect in that regard. But why should I care? And the answer is you shouldn't, but people don't realize that. Influencer is basically the equivalent to what like a celebrity like 20, 30, 40 years ago is. It's like if a celebrity said something that was like maybe really impactful for some people. This is that, but on a much grander, more unfiltered scale where quality control just went out the window and now anyone can just be a powerful celebrity.
No, it's true. It's completely true.
That's also the reason why like we need to be more mindful, conscious about what we actually look at every day. I feel like there's so many contents out there, so many influencers. If you don't pay attention, you'll get influenced by one of them, and then
you see, this is why I like to do absolute shameless self-promotion on my Instagram, and I don't really look at other people's things too much. I just that really makes me sound extremely self-centered.
No, you can.
That's hilarious.
It's recorded. You
can
use that.
We're definitely keeping it. I just think that I don't want to buy into everyone else's opinions and things. I want to learn about them, see why they have that, and then just form my own, right? And it just helps me live my life a little better.
I still appreciate people using some social media space to express their more artistic self and be like express their ideas and being able to share with each other. It's the matter, like I said, to find a balance and then really filter out the information that is giving you the negative impact and then really trying to find the one to stay positive and balanced throughout the process of like taking in the information.
Agree. Well, so unless you answered this already, but how do you curate your content?
I had a struggle. I spent hours on
Mac is a terrible example. Like he had to delete TikTok because he used to spend hours on it. I mean, of course that algorithm is more priceless than Bitcoin right now, but I'm just saying he used to spend hours on it just scrolling. He couldn't stop.
Yeah, TikTok, I mean, I can't really I might be biased on this because me and Owen, we're managing a Chinese tennis TikTok account. We had a video that went kind of mini viral,
600,000 people,
and then we realized that it's really just a number. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just people out there like looking at your stuff. You don't even connect with that person, and you're scrolling through all those like contents, and they're really addictive. I know people stay up like all the like so late. Sometimes I do, like not like staying up late, like looking at contents that is not even like around you and being influenced by that. But I do spend times on social media, something I'm trying to fix. But on Instagram specifically, my mom was a bad influence on me on this because she would spend 2 hours trying to think of the perfect captions for her post.
Oh my god.
And then it makes her happy, I guess. She enjoys sharing that part of her life. And I am happy for her. She's happy about that. But like that's really exhausting. Than spending 2 hours trying to find that perfect caption for your social media.
Yeah,
You can say that's her being artistic, though, no?
Yeah, if you think about, but like if you that's a daily life thing that you do, I feel like that's a lot. But like sometimes, like I feel like if you go on a trip like in Europe, you're trying to post a picture of like like that's a thing you can debate. That's not probably what we're going to talk about today, but like how photo taking influence your traveling experience. Do you want to just spend time being present in that moment, or you want to spend time taking pictures? But also pictures can help you in the retrospect, like memories, and many years later looking back at the picture, you know exactly what happened. But people are saying like, but you're not being present, you're taking picture, now looking at the beauty of the world. And it's a debate. I personally think taking photos can actually direct you to certain beauties while you're in that place, but also help you in your retrospect, like memorizing the experience.
That is a really interesting question.
But having social media, there's a place for you to show your artistic self. And me I'm not calling myself an artist, but like a person who really enjoy doing creative stuff, I do appreciate a social media space for me to display what I've made and let people see. But I have like Naval Ravikant, like, is it pronouncing it right?
Yeah.
Naval Ravikant, like, he said he never watched movies. He only read books. And that's his ways of selecting the content consumptions. But for me, I was like, you don't watch movies? I make movies. I'm a filmmaker. I make contents. And the reason for me to make contents for people to watch, to know that. So it's a thing. It's a debate I'm constantly thinking about. I don't really know.
She got really offended when this really impressive and famous angel investor basically told the world that her whole life is illegitimate.
Well, I mean, who cares? That's one guy.
Exactly. I was gonna say just that. It's just one person, right? I actually really like the question about photography in a beautiful scenic place.
I feel
that's a tough one for me.
I feel the way I treat photography, I used to be 100% against photography because I believe in living in the moment. Like when I was going skiing with my family, I was just like looking at the mountains and just kind of absorbing it and just saying, like, look at this, just like being there on the top of the mountain. But then I did take some pictures, but they were always... So this will be my point, but like when you take a picture, that kind of takes you out of the moment, if that makes sense. You're no longer at the top of the mountain, like being a part of one with nature. You're more taking a picture and on a mountain, and that's it. It kind of devalues the whole I came to this mountain to be here, and more I came to this mountain so that now I have a picture of me being on the mountain. So, but I did take pictures and I took a few videos, and all of them were what's the word? It's not sporadic, that means random. They were all on a whim. They were all like instantaneous. Like when I saw something beautiful, I was like, okay, this is worth like a picture, but only like at an instant I decided. I didn't come on the mountain saying I'm gonna take 1,000,000 pictures. I came there, it's like, let's go skiing, let's enjoy the view. And then when it was like something like gorgeous and breathtaking, I would take it all in, like absorb it, and then I'd say, okay, let's take a picture. And the only reason I've adopted this mentality is because, one, to reminisce, when you're with your friends and you're like, oh, I was at this mountain and it was beautiful. It's like, well, a picture tells 1,000 words, If I tell them it's beautiful, that's one thing. If I show them the picture, they'll understand immediately what I was, to some extent, what I was experiencing. So I feel when taking pictures, it should be an in-the-moment experience, not something you planned. Unless you're a professional photographer, in which case that's your job. So, all right, fair enough. But you know, so many Twitter bios say photographer nowadays, so it's like, what does that mean anymore?
Exactly. The reason behind it is really important. If you're just taking a picture because you want to show off on your Instagram, I don't agree with that. I don't think that's a good purpose of taking a picture because, it's like people are saying like painting it's the best way for you to observe the beauty because you're constantly looking at different details of the world and then record it with your hands and stuff. But taking a picture is just one click on the buttons and or one press on your phone and you got it, and you don't even look at the beauty. You just like, okay, it's my phone, I'll go back and look at it later. You're not really enjoying the moment. You're not really like I don't know, like look like taking in the beauty of the world. But also I agree with what you just said, Alex, of like not like on the way and you're going hiking or something, you don't want to stop halfway and then take a bunch of picture. You're hiking, that's your purpose of the trip. You should like keep going onto the summit. Yeah, and then you can celebrate and be like, oh my god, it's so pretty. You want to take a picture to celebrate and show people that like that's how it look on people who are not able to be on the top, to show that's how it look. And that I think that's a good reasons for that.
I think I want to add one more thing. When I take pictures, I've never taken a picture with the purpose of like showing anyone. Like I never was like, I'm gonna take this picture and show Pete. I took this picture for me personally. I took it so like when a year or two from now and I'm just scrolling through my pictures and I can see that, I can kind of relive that moment for a brief period. If I happen to meet Pete and we start talking and it's like, and somehow I bring up, oh, I went skiing and it was really beautiful, then I bring up my picture and I show him. I don't post it on social media because for me, the question is, who cares? Like, I had fun. I enjoyed that moment, but who cares what you, like, what I didn't take it for you. Why should you have to see it? I didn't do it for you to enjoy it, which I know sounds bad a little bit on when I say it like that, but it's true. When I take pictures, I'm not taking them for the amusement of others. I'm taking them because they have value to me. They might have value to you. I might make I might get 1 million likes if I post it on Instagram, but I don't care about that because none of those numbers mean anything. Like, you liked it, great, but the important thing is that I liked it. I took it for me. That was the point. So that's the end of my story.
No, I agree with that, but I can't really, I appreciate what you said. I'm a person, like, my mom takes, like, crazy, like, model-looking pictures, and
Whoa.
Going on the trip, you really just, the purpose of the trip was taking crazy, beautiful picture with her clothes and stuff at certain spots, and that's really tiring. I'm not trying to take the picture for people to see, but she really enjoys the process of taking nice picture with her clothes, changing 3 different outfits a day. But
I mean,
it
she's
can
passionate.
be really tiring.
She's passionate in that.
Yeah,
And that's completely respectable. I respect that. That's just not me.
yeah, exactly. Do you do you and find your own purpose on doing things.
My opinion on the whole thing, I suppose, is because I've got a similar transition to Alex in a sense that I used to always, or except opposite, I used to always try to take pictures everywhere because I'd be like, okay, I could just look at this at a later date and that will be that. But nowadays, I've been trying to live a lot more in the moment. Still, it's hard to do. It's really, really hard to do, especially because you're the only one that can really teach yourself how to do it. That is for sure a fact. When I think about what it is actually that I'm trying to capture, it helps me realize also what I am doing and why it's so beautiful. And I guess if you find that quote unquote balance between both in that moment, then it's still a good thing. I think you can definitely take pictures to relive an experience, to relive a moment, and there won't be any negative outcome from you doing that, at least while you're there. So I remember doing this where I went on a really scenic hike in Greece, I think several years ago. And we ended up getting to the end of the path, and there was the biggest gorge in all of Europe that's where we were, and it was beautiful. It was insane. And I didn't have a phone, or my phone was dead, and so I just sat there looking and wondering if I had my phone and my ability to actually take a picture right there, would it have been worth it? And I think actually in hindsight, of course hindsight's 20/20, but I don't think it would have been worth it. Because, sometimes when you live some memories and you live some experiences, they're a lot better just, if they're very, very recountable, they're a lot better just in your head. And I'm a very big experience guy, as in I want to do as much as I possibly can, live as much as I possibly can, and learn things and just do. So I don't know. There's definitely a fine line between being obsessed over creating digital content for yourself, creating digital memories rather than making them yourself, and being able to remember them and cherishing them as well. Because to be frank, I think that one of the things that we lose track of is you're not really able to take a picture of every moment of your life. And what happens when something amazing happens? Like, let's say you landed a crazy job, right? And you never expected you would get it. You're not going to take a picture of that moment, are you? No, you're going to remember the feeling. Or let's say you achieved something great. I mean, yeah, it might be in a very social aspect and people take pictures of it because they want to remember that or whatever. But aside from that, let's say you just got a really cool email, or someone reached out to you, or you got a phone call. I mean, that stuff, you don't take pictures of that. That's just the memory, or memories with the people that we have, relationships, all that stuff.
You take a mental snapshot.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I think, what gives it value, because it is fleeting in a way. So you don't have the access to it so easily. And I think that, ironically enough, and I mean, this is kind of literally a principle of economics, and you know this, but when we have less accessibility to something, it becomes way, way, way more valuable.
Yeah. It's more valuable in your mind, in your brain.
Yeah, which is why taking it back to all the stuff that we consume on a daily basis, even hourly, minutely basis, I think that, the access to so many resources is what allows people to lose touch with the stuff that really is valuable. And that's why if you're able to moderate, it means you understand how valuable those things actually are.
Yeah, that landed on what I think is the last thing that we want to talk about is the energy consumptions, like the people being around you. Like, you care, like what Alex says is really about the people around you instead of people on the digital platform, being around your friends, spending the time. You don't take crazy. I mean, sometimes me and my best friend sometimes realize that, oh my god, we didn't take any pictures because we're so in the moment, we're so enjoying ourselves. Like, we weren't like thinking about, we should stop here and take a picture. But sometimes we try to do a little bit so we can remember it like later on with a picture. But if you're really enjoying the moment, sometimes you just forget to take a picture because you're being surrounded by all your friends and family, and you choose, like, that's the thing I wanted to ask about the view. Do you guys choose your friends? Because I grow up my mom telling me, you're not allowed to play with this girl or that girl.
What?
Like,
that's so mean.
I guess that's like an Asian mom thing, that she would tell me you're not allowed to do, like, hang out with certain friends because things that there's a quote saying that you're the average of the 5 people you most, like, have the most contact with. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it does hold some truth to it. I think that who you hang out with kind of influence you in a way, and they're not influencer, but they influence you with their beliefs, with their thinking, with different things, what music they listen to. And that's why it's important to choose. Not like you don't choose your friends as if, like, I don't want to be with him or her because of certain stuff, but consciously surround yourself with people that makes you happy. And if someone makes you feel negative, how you can cut it off and limit the contact with a certain person can help you to have a more positive mental status every day. And yeah, I was wondering if you guys choose your friends and stuff because I know people have a structure. I have to have I have a friend who is a lawyer. I have to have a friend who's a businessman. I have to have a friend who's, it's a real experience. Yeah. And then they have to have certain friends. They're like having a checklist type of things that if I don't have those friends, I'm going out of my way to find that friend.
That is crazy. I don't know who the hell you know that says they need to have a lawyer, a businessman, a banker. Who the hell does that? That's crazy to me. I definitely don't. I mean, I choose my friends based on character and integrity. So the people that I surround myself with are, I think I have a relatively good judge of character, and I've been told that I do as well by my, I guess, people senior to me, because they just see that I value interpersonal connection very much so, and I think there's a lot of ways that you can misconstrue people's intentions so easily if you don't really understand a lot about their personality and their character. So sometimes it doesn't really matter to me what kind of predicament a person is in, or if they're a person of very well means or very not well means. I don't care about any of that. I care about the quality of a human being. And that, I think, is that matters to me the most, because I think that I gain the most from that rather than, I mean, like, you see this all over on Instagram or just like reading these articles. Like, you want to if you want to be somewhere, surround yourself with those type of people because of the rule of 5, right? But I think that if you want to be a more enriched person, you surround yourself with people that can enrich you as a person, right? Rather than just expecting yourself to be somewhere because other people will inevitably get you there. Why don't I want to try to build my life and mold myself having gained experiences from all these other people. And I think that's more important than just surrounding myself with 5 super ultra wealthy entrepreneurs that, they've made it already. I mean, that's amazing to me, and I definitely would try to do that, but I'd rather surround myself with a freelance artist as well, who's struggling but is making their way in the world and just learning how to do it on their own, even if they're like just sitting in the subway and letting people like throw them change. There's just different types of people on this planet, and I think that if you try to take into account all of their views of the world, that is way, way better. I don't like to think of it extremely materialistic. Alex, you look like you're a thinking man right now. What's going on in your head?
I mean, do I pick my friends? Well, for all my life, I was not good at networking, and I was really bad and really shy, so I never really picked my friends. I just interacted with everyone, and whoever stuck, those are my friends who tolerate me and I tolerate them. Here's the thing. I get along with everyone. Or at least I think that. Maybe I'm crazy. And do I pick them based on how smart they are? I don't think that's the criteria I'm going for. I usually try to pick the ones with the best character. Like you, P, you met some of my friends in the past.
Yeah, of course.
They said they weren't good at school, and I never like, I knew who like the smart kids were, but I also didn't know like who the middle kids were. Like, I didn't know how good or bad the people in the middle were. I knew who was really bad and who was really good. And I made friends with really bad people, and I made friends with really good people. With the really bad people, I try to not let it like influence me, try and just enjoy their company, but not really absorb their behaviors or their personality. Whereas the really smart people or really hardworking people or the really funny people, I try and like indulge myself in how they act and how they behave and how they are, because it's fun. Not for like, I never did it with the intention of, oh, if I'm with this person I'm gonna be smarter. I did it because I enjoyed being with them. So no, Yeah, no, I never chose my friends. They just kind of, they come about, you know?
They chose me.
They,
That's what he's
no,
trying to
no,
say.
I didn't say that. I did not say that. I specifically did not say that.
Yeah,
It
I
just
know, I'm messing
happened,
with
you
you.
know, you just live life, you meet people, and some of those people stick. And if they enjoy your company and you enjoy theirs, there you go. You have a friend. But like you said, if you have a toxic friend, if you have a friend that's very negative or dragging you down, or, you know, is that person really your friend anymore? You know?
Yeah.
Because my version of a friend is someone whose company you enjoy, if not just someone you know, but someone you enjoy being with. Can you really call someone your friend if you know them, but half of the interactions you have with them make you feel sad or upset or depressed or angry?
Yeah, like, and uh, we need to categorize friends and acquaintances and how you who you count as friends and stuff. And yeah, me and my best friend, we're really different in no ways, but we feel really comfortable with each other and we learn from each other. I feel like that is a way, like, you helping each other to learn, to grow at the same time. And you feel comfortable with them. That's the really important stuff. You don't want to surround yourself with people that makes you uncomfortable, and that will, in the long run, that will makes you feel like it's not helping you.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, if your job in the short time we have living our lives is to be as happy and positive as possible, why would you spend even a moment of that time with someone making you feel bad?
Mm-hmm.
It's a good experience. You can make that argument, but once you've experienced it, don't you want to, you know, leave? Get out of there?
My last question for you, Jesse, is how do you choose your friends?
I did not have the luxury of choosing friends when I come here. Okay.
You
I
chose
had
me and Pete. We're pretty cool, I think.
you're my friends. Oh, yay. No, but when I first came to US, I had a hard time struggling finding my friends. No, I had a hard time to fit in and stuff, and it's sometimes you go out of your comfort zone a little bit, and then you can find your friends. And in the early college time, I tried to surround myself with people who has the same interests as me, like my film fraternities and stuff. And then as you go, you, like what Alex said, some people just stick. You don't intentionally choosing, and then some people just happen. Like I appreciate you guys a lot, ONMP, and we just sometimes just stick, and you really helping each other to grow every day. And now I got to know Alex, and it's a process. You don't intentionally to choose. Oh, I
I'm
want to
so
get to know
sorry for you.
Alex. I want to get to know Alex. I'm choosing Alex. I know it just happened, and then sometimes you don't get along. You don't be like, I'm unfriend you. You just it's, you don't cancel them. You just kind of like, yeah, I mean, if you get along, you start being friends, and you're not intentionally, but there are something that you do need to put in efforts in, are maintaining some friendship. When people do some goods for you, you return back some stuff. I feel like that's really important for human beings, to do some decent stuff for your friends, and being appreciate their presence in your life, and being able to not like choosing exactly, like choosing who you want to be around with, but like take what life gives you, and then really make the most out of it, and appreciate.
I totally agree. I heard this really interesting thing. We can slowly close it out on this, but from a very valuable connection that I made over the last few months, and then a person he connected me with as well. And he told me about a conversation that they both had, and it basically revolves around, if you make it somewhere, no matter who you meet along the way, no matter how you get there, let's assume you've made it to the top floor, the top success, whatever, send the elevator back down, because you absolutely never know who is going to join you up there. You know, and I just think that doesn't only apply to success, but it applies to interpersonal relationships just on a normal level. If you do something, do some good to your friends, to your loved ones, to anyone, because I think that enriches your life as well. I hate being the type of person that feels like I couldn't help someone out in a way. It like shakes me to my core sometimes. I love helping people. I don't know why, because it literally stresses me out so much sometimes.
But I do. Hard. Don't burn out though. Like sometimes it can burn you out, and then you're not occupy in the maximum ability you can if you burn out.
Yeah. Food for thought.
Well, everyone has to stand on their own 2 feet, but you can always give them a hand to like hold them up for a bit. I think that's what Pete wants to always strive to do for all the people he cares about.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah. So I like how I chose the topic today.
Yeah.
What you consume is make who you are, and I'm still in the process of learning. I'm taking a lot of information myself and really have a good filter the information that I want to take with me on the way, filter out the stuff that I don't want to take with me, that giving me the negative effect on my bodies, on my mind, and being able to find that balance and find that filter for yourself. It's a way for filtering food, like we said, social media content and people. Yeah, I think it's more and more important to us nowadays when everything is like overwhelming.
Balance. It's the key word, right, Jesse?
Yeah, for me, I hope that I'm not preaching, I'm not influencing people.
I'm
just sharing how I think about things, and then if you want to take it with you, take it with you.
Absolutely. And when you're spending all your time balancing out your life, Jesse, what do we always do?
Stay positive.
Absolutely.
Have a great day, y'all.
Bye.